This is my last recording for you, and it is on the subject of flowers. What can I say about flowers, or my experience of flowers? Firstly, I would like you to think about your own experience of flowers and imagine just for one moment that your world is completely devoid of flowers. There is no colour, there is no fragrance, and they have completely disappeared from every shop, every garden, every flower display, every ornamental park, from every stage, at a concert or a wedding or a church or other place of worship, or even when you go on holiday. Flowers do not exist. There's nothing there. The world has been stripped of every beautiful colour, every beautiful shape, every beautiful fragrance, from the rose to a daffodil, to a violet, to lavender. All of these things are gone. So I suppose in many ways this will help you to understand my experience as a totally blind person, having not seen for over 50 years. But yet my world still is full of flowers. I wonder if you can understand this. So I'm going to try to explain. My mother has always loved flowers. Her mother before her loved flowers. I suppose most women do, and I think maybe many men do as well. Flowers to us represent love in many ways, and we often give them for someone's birthday or for a special occasion anyway. When we go out to eat for a special occasion, quite often there's flowers on the table. Well, flowers have featured very prominently in my artwork and my photography. My very first commission, as I think I told you, was for the Royal Botanic Garden in Edinburgh, and I photographed many of the flowers in the garden over a period of one whole day. I remember very distinctly photographing the foxglove and being directed to many of the flowers that were there by my sense of smell, being drawn. Oh, what's that lovely smell? Where is it coming from? I wonder what's there, what kind of flower or plant that is. And then I would touch the plant if I could, if it was safe to touch, so that I would get not only its shape and its smell and its colour by the person who is working with me describing the plant, but then I knew at an arm's length maybe I could actually take a photograph of that plant and flower. And then later on, maybe working with another artist, a sculptor, to produce a replication or reproduction of maybe a foxglove in ceramic, which I then later presented to my mother. as a special gift. One of my earliest or fondest memories of, well, it's not earliest actually, and I have to correct myself there. One of my abiding memories of flowers and their heady aroma and perfume comes from an association with an elderly neighbour who had a great passion for gardening. And his great love, actually, and triumph was producing giant onions. Yes, and I mean giant onions. They weighed about at least a pound each. And if he didn't get them to that size, he used to be very upset. But anyway, what he used to do on a very regular basis from the time I was about probably 12 years old, 13 years old, soon as after I lost my sight, within a year or two of losing my sight, he would come across and present me with a little bouquet of pinks. Now, I don't know if you know what pinks are. They're a carnation type flower, but whereas many carnations, especially at that time, were not fragrant, the fragrance had been, I suppose, developed out of them. But he grew these pinks in the garden, and the pinks were very delicate pink. Not a deep pink, but a very delicate pink. But the smell was so heady. And he said that these were called Doris. These particular pinks were called Doris. And his wife was Doris, so he actually grew them for his wife. And he presented me every year for many, many years with a little bouquet of pinks, because he knew I couldn't see them, but I would be able to smell them. What I tend to do with my photography, as I say, I ask any of my helpers to identify any flowers that they can see, especially bold ones. I like bold flowers. Doesn't matter what they are. And if I can actually reach them, to touch them, so that I can focus my camera more carefully and get the images I'm hoping to take, that's what I do. I move in close and then I step back a little bit so that I can take the photographs. And I would try to take them from different angles, especially if, for instance, one day I was actually out walking by myself, just going to the shops, and I thought, well, I have my little camera with me in my bag. I wonder if there's anything that I can photograph. And I could smell fragrance coming from a nearby bush, and I thought, that smells as if someone's growing some interesting flowers in their garden. So I reached forward and again touched the plant and stepped back to take the photographs. I was drawn by the sense of smell. I also remember visiting a local church, and there were displays of flowers. It was bouquets of flowers that had been given for a funeral, but they were such beautiful flowers, lovely colours, and from all kinds of colours. It's amazing. I don't know if you have ever actually thought about the variety of shades of a particular colour, but that in flowers and plants, this is what you have all the time. They go from maybe a gentle yellowy orange right the way through to a deep, deep bronze. It's amazing. Or pinks into vibrant crimson red, or blue into purple. And then you have maybe purple and orange together. You have all these flowers everyone takes for granted because they're there. But again, flowers for me is a passion. They, as I say, they are passion. And whenever I have the opportunity, I give flowers as a gift. I remember hearing and being told about Buddhist philosophy, and one of the traditions in Buddhist philosophy, I understand, is when you go to visit someone, you take flowers. Well, I can't always afford to take flowers, not having a garden. I can't always afford to take flowers to everybody I visit, but when I can, I do. They're uplifting, and the world would be a much, much poorer place without them.